How's everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Devin, and today I just hope to spread a little bit of light in and amongst all this darkness. So, as I'm filming this now, it is currently the 24th of March, which means that last night, President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed the nation and declared that on Thursday night from midnight, there would be a nationwide lockdown. What lockdown means is that we are taking even more precautions to flatten this curve, that we are taking a more severe step than what we previously took to ensure that this country does not get devastated by this disease and to ensure that we don't put millions more people at risk than already are. So that means that there will still be things that will operate in the country. Any medical health care that you may need will still be operating, which means that hospitals, pharmacies, and healthcare practices will still be opening their doors. So if you are amongst the people who will still need medical care or still need medicine, you'll still be able to go and get it. You'll still be able to have that checked out. The next thing that will still operate is grocery stores. You will still be able to buy food, and to ensure that enough food will be on the shelves, any suppliers to those grocery stores will still be operating, and that includes food manufacturers as well as farmers. In fact, we have been reassured from the agricultural department in South Africa that there will be enough food for us to continue. So you will be able to go through to grocery stores to get what you need. Any other stores will not be open. You will also be able to access banks, petrol stations, and anywhere where you can get your social grants. To get more details about what will be closing, what will remain open, and what services are still going to continue practicing, please check the iCard and the description down below. I want to encourage us as a country to be safe in everything that we do now. If you need to go and fetch something from one of the places that is available, please be precautious. Wash your hands, don't stand closer than 2 meters from people, and just ensure that you are safe. Ensure that you are taking the precautions to ensure that you don't get sick. If you do, however, feel that you may have COVID-19, please contact one of these numbers. The 0600 number is for WhatsApp, and the 0800 number is for calls. If you need to contact anybody, WhatsApp this number or call this number. I also want to encourage us not to go somewhere you don't need to go. If you're feeling really list for a Steri Stumpy, don't just go to the store to buy a Steri Stumpy. Wait until your next grocery shopping to get that Steri Stumpy. It can wait. Let's be responsible in this and utilize our time as best as possible. Stay at home until you absolutely need to go to one of these places. The president has said that the SANDF, which is the South African National Defence Force, which is essentially our army, has come through to help out the police, which means that the police force and the army are going to be monitoring everything that happens. You have to have a clear reason for going somewhere in order to get there, else you will be persecuted. And if you are found without a clear reason, it could lead up to being imprisoned for up to a month. So please, let us be responsible. Leave that Steri Stumpy. You can get it at a later stage. So with the lockdown being effective only from Thursday night, I must admit that I was a little bit nervous that people would respond negatively and start panic buying again and create a sense of fear once more. But I was pleasantly surprised earlier today when I went to go get some toiletries. I was hesitant to go to a shopping mall, but I decided to go with it anyway. So when I got into the Dis-Chem, I was so surprised to see that there was no evidence of panic buying. People were really kind to one another and even helped one another, but at the same time, they maintained a distance from each other, especially when an elderly person was walking past. People made sure to stay clear, to keep a distance while being nice about it. And to top that all off, there was still toilet paper on the shelves. And I must say, that really put a smile on my face. Not the toilet paper, everything altogether really put a smile on my face. And when I got home after that, it really got me thinking about how we as a country are responding to this. So in my research, I found out that the SPCA has put a call out for dog food and for any monetary donations, and people have been donating and giving. There are 5 people who are staying at the SPCA to look after those animals during this time of lockdown. That is amazing. We as a community have come together to help those people at the SPCA. As much as some people have donated, the SPCA still needs a lot more to reach enough to be able to feed these dogs for the next 21 days. So please support that. There's a man in Cape Town who owns the Mr. Cheap stores who has given elderly people free care packages to ensure that they are prepared for COVID-19. There are people such as the Scouts offering to go and buy groceries for the elderly people or for people who are susceptible to the disease. And there's so many other institutions that are doing similar things. Even the government has put in place systems to help people who are earning less than 6,500 Rand a month, as well as helping small business owners with regards to tax and debt through the Department of Small Business Development. I've also heard pleas from people to support people who either have informal businesses or small businesses during the next 2 to 3 days before the lockdown starts. And that is fantastic. I'm behind that 100%, and I want to encourage you to do that, to ensure that those people are able to buy the groceries they need to get through the next 21 days. These are just a few of the stories that are out there. There are tons of stories of people coming together in true Ubuntu and helping one another in these circumstances. So I want to encourage us to, in the next few days, while we still are not in lockdown, to ensure that you help as many people as you can. If you have extra money, help those who are not going to have an income during the 21 days that we are in lockdown, or who aren't even going to have an income in the next 2 days. Help people survive during this time. Come together. We can be the change in those stories. We can be the light in the darkness. In the next 2 days, we have the opportunity to help those who can't help themselves, or even to help those who can help themselves but are going to struggle during the lockdown period. Be part of those good stories, not just hearing those good stories. If you have somebody in your household who is susceptible to the disease and you don't want to go out, I understand that 100%. But there are ways to help out that don't require you to leave. One of those ways is that the government has opened up a solidarity account, which is used to fight the COVID-19 disease and bring the country together. All the funds that are going to be used there are going to be utilized for that exact reason. Now is the time that you can give to that, to help in that scale. There are other ways that we can help as well without leaving our house, but I want to encourage you, find those ways. Let us help one another in this time. There are links in the description below to the articles that explain the government's responses to everything, including the Solidarity Fund, including the small business aid. So please check those out to get further details on those. So while we can be there for people financially, we also need to be there for people who emotionally are going to be struggling during this time. There are people who are struggling with depression. There are people who have lost loved ones outside of COVID-19, and unfortunately there are going to be people who are going to lose loved ones to COVID-19. We need to support one another. We can't let this isolation create a space where people fall deeper into depression or deeper into sadness. Let us come together to provide support to people who emotionally need it. Isolation and lockdown does not mean that we are completely separated. We live in a time where we can so easily connect with one another through the means that we have, through internet, through WhatsApp, through FaceTime, in some way, shape or form. Reach out to people who you know may be struggling. Reach out to people who you think might not be struggling. They may very well be. Let's reach out and support one another. Do so genuinely. Video chat is so much better than just a message over WhatsApp. Let's engage with each other with the technology that we have. And I want to encourage you, if you are in a space where you used to rely on social interactions to help keep you just above the pain, the hurt, or the darkness, reach out to those around you. Reach out to loved ones, reach out to friends, reach out to somebody who you can trust to be there, to support you and help you through this time. Not everybody may know to reach out to you, and be honest with them and say, I'm struggling right now. I've lost this person, or I'm in depression and being isolated is really not helping me in this space. Be honest, reach out so that people around you can come and support you. Don't let being alone create the space where you feel super lonely and get deeper into your hurt and pain and suffering. It is so tempting to focus on the negative in times like these, especially because we know that this is not going to be easy. This is going to be a difficult time for us as a country. It is a difficult time for us right now as the world. But I want to encourage us to focus on the good things that are happening, while at the same time not being naive and negligent to the fact that there are people who are struggling and suffering during this time. But also being aware that us struggling during this time does not mean that we are alone. And again, I want to encourage you, help your fellow man in whatever way you can. And if that means that you need to do something over the next 2 days before lockdown, do it. Let us be the light in the darkness. Let us be the good that we know we can be. And even after the next 2 days, let us be there for one another. So be safe, and remember, Jesus is neither in lockdown nor is he removed from the situation. He is present. He is here now. I love you all. Be safe, and God bless.